Welcome back to Wrenches in Motion, where if it ain't broke, I ain't buying it. And today is going to be a quick video. We're here with Kenny, and poor Kenny. So one of the things that's aggravating about the Gambler Pilot is that it's stuck on heat all the time. And this here, we showed it in the video when we replaced the HVAC control. This is supposed to move and shut off water to the heater core and open it to allow water to go into the heater core. However, this does not do a thing. $270 for a new one? I don't think so. So today what we're going to do is we're going to open up these tabs here. Hopefully we don't break them all, but we probably will. And then we're going to take this apart and take a look inside, because there's been posts that the round wafer board will get not just dirty, but in some cases the coating will actually get worn off, and then you won't have any conductivity. So of course it's just going to be stuck. I ran the diagnostics on the HVAC and it came up with letter K, which is problem with the mix valve. Well, yeah, no kidding. It's not open and it's not shorted, just problem. Well, the problem is it's not working. So let's see if we can't tear this thing apart and get inside and see what we can see. Okay, we got the top cover off, and I only broke one, so that's not too bad. So let's take a look. We got our motor. We can test that. We got some gears here. Gears all look fine. That one spins with the motor, it looks like. Let's take this out. Oh, they say you're supposed to mark these gears too. So let's go get a Sharpie and mark these gears. Okay, so just for the heck of it, I took the motor out just to make sure there's no binding, and of course, you know, I didn't think there was, but there we go. Probably can't really see it, but I turned that, and all the gears moved, the lever moved, so everything's fine as far as not being bound up. I'll throw a quick 12 volts on the motor, see if the motor works. That should, and then we'll worry about the other thing. Okay, I've got you set up over there. I'm going to test the motor real quick. It's going to be super easy. Just throw 12 volts on it, see what happens. Or not. Okay, it's free. What was that? Really? The motor's turning, but the gear is not. We might have found our problem already. Huh. Imagine that. I did not suspect a problem with the motor. So I just saw that the motor's no good. I can't find one online anywhere. So I did the next best thing and went to the junkyard and pulled 2 more complete units. So let us take a walk outside and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about and where I'm talking about. Alright, let's see if we can get this done before it rains. Oh, there's the 2 new ones. If you look up underneath here, and you're not going to be able to see it. That's the plug. Oh, my flashlight just died. No. Okay, so here we go. Pay attention to the white levers. We're in the cold position now, which they always tell you to put it in. I'm going to turn it to hot. And they move. Then we go back to cold. And they move. Now, I'm going to go back to hot. And we're going to go outside and take a look at the heater valve. And it used to be in about the 830 position. So let's take a look at that real quick. Okay, so as you can see, the heater valve, it's not quite in the 830 position, and I don't know if I could set the camera here and move it to cold and have you watch it. Probably not. Nope. Okay. So let's go set it to cold real quick. And look where it is now. Definitely not in that position. That's more like 10 o'clock. That definitely works. Okay, we got the battery out. We're going to take the air box and the air tube out. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but way down in there is the transmission filter. We're going to take that out, replace that, drain some fluid, replace it with some Valvoline Max Life, and hopefully we can get this thing to quit doing this little rattle when you're driving down the road. It's a rattle that comes and goes. It's more irritating. It may be doing some damage, I don't know. We have yet to pull the solenoids out and clean the screens and stuff like that, so if we get a chance, if we're feeling, you know, frisky, we might do that today too. But the main thing I want to do is get this filter changed. Oh, you can see it way down in there. Okay, so now we got some stuff out of the way. Here's our filter. We need to take this off. This is part of the pipe. There's two bolts, one there and one back in there. We gotta get those out. Those are 12s. And then we've got our new Wix filter right here. And once we get the pipe off, the other end threads in. So not hard, just hard to get to. If anyone wants you to replace your transmission filter in your 04 Pilot, just tell them no. You can see the wrench in between the ABS lines. You get maybe a 1/16 of a turn every time. This bolt down here is not much better. So that's going to take the longest part, is just getting these two bolts out. Everything else should be simple. Okay, well the pipe's not going to come off like I wanted. So hopefully I got the right size wrench here. And it looks like maybe not. If that was a 22, but that's not going to be it. All right, let's go get the right size. Okay, so it looks like a 15/16, which may or may not go on there based on orientation of everything. Where is it? Oh, there we go. I like I saw it break free, but it's free. Now I gotta get the wrench off. Oh. Okay. That's done. Spin the old. Okay, well, filter's not just gonna spin out. I gotta use the wrench a couple more times, so let me get this filter out of here. Well, I was able to spin it off. It just, for some reason, when I tried, I either didn't have a good grip, or I admit it, I'm weak, so I probably couldn't just turn it. But oh, there's a lot of threads on here too. And as you can see, there's so much room to work with this ABS pump in the way. Alright, there it is. There's the old filter. It looks like probably the stock one, factory one. Okay, we're going to lube up the O-ring on the new one, and then we're going to slide the new one in. We're going to lube up the O-ring on the pipe, push the pipe in, bolt the pipe back in, which is not going to be easy. And then we'll see about doing the rest, or we're going to stop for today because it's like 90-some degrees outside. Well, I had to use a 1-inch box end wrench, which fit a little bit loose, but it was tight enough to go ahead and tighten that up. So now we're going to lube up that O-ring on the pipe, push the pipe in, and try to get those two 10mm bolts started. All right, well, we got our two bolts back in. It's actually easier to get them in than get them out. Got our pipe hook back up, got our bolt back in there. I'm going to put these electrical cables back where they belong. And then I guess it's time to climb underneath and drain some of this fluid out. I don't see any fill plug like on the later ones. So it looks like we got to fill it through the dipstick tube, which really stinks. That's not a good way to fill it. I mean, it's a good way, it just goes so slow. Okay, so I decided to drain the transmission fluid while I'm out here. I'm sweating like crazy. So here's the front of the Pilot. Transmission's obviously on the driver's side. So we're gonna climb under, and you'll see a 3/8. You can just use the ratchet on that plug right there, and then we'll loosen that. We'll start draining it. I've got a paper towel. We'll get a sample of this on the paper towel, and then we'll put a sample of the new stuff and watch the difference. Well, like everything else on here, that thing was super tight. I had to bang the 1/2 to 3/8 drive adapter in there, and then now, after using my foot wedge, it's loose. So let me take this plug out, get the drain plug ready, or drain pan ready, and while it's draining, we'll see if we can't get some of this for a sample. Just to see how bad this stuff really is. Come on. There we go. Well, it's definitely dark. Definitely dark. Alright, so we'll just grab a little sample here. Let the rest of that drain. Sorry about the camera. Oh, look at that. I don't know how well the color shows up. Let me get some fresh stuff. Ooh, all kinds of stuff on the plug. And we'll see what's going on. Okay, let's get the stuff in the light. Nice brown, nice pink, or reddish color. That's what we're looking for. And look at all the junk on here. So I'd be willing to bet the screens are plugged, and that's going to require removing the bottom cover, maybe even the bumper, so we can get in there and get these screens cleaned. I'm going to fix a couple things that are going to be easy. First off is the air box. The screws doesn't even hold it, so get another air box over there. I'm going to swap that in here real quick. That'll take care of that problem. We're going to put the engine covers back on because they've been off for a while. And then the tricky part is, when I was at the junkyard, I pulled a hub that's got a good wheel bearing in it. I believe this one here is making all kinds of noise. Something's definitely growling in the front, so I suspect it's this one. So what I'm going to do is put it on, and I'm debating on whether or not I want to replace the control arms. We'll get a good look at them after we get the wheel and stuff off. I do have another set, but I kind of want to use them for the MDX instead, and wait to replace these until I get the lift kit. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. I don't think these are that terrible. All I do is drive this thing around town, so it's not like, you know, it's not that big of a deal if I don't replace them right now. So as you can see, not only one, we had two of the screws that were broke. So it's a good thing we're replacing this. And I want to let you know, I did just buy a tripod. It should be here this week, so you will get some better action shots of me actually working. So now that the boring stuff's been done, okay, we got covers on. Time to jack this thing up, get this wheel off, and see if we can throw this hub in real quick. Hopefully before it rains. And I'd really, I don't know what time it is right now, but sometime before 4 o'clock, I'd really like to get to the junkyard and get rid of 4 of these tires. Or not the junkyard, the dump. Okay, we've got it jacked up. there is a jack stand under there, as you can see. Lug nuts 19 millimeter. The tires are almost shot. They're like real close to the wear bar. I don't know if you can see it, but since I'm only driving around town, I trust it for that. The knuckle, you may wonder why I've got the whole ABS harness with it, and that's because the sensor won't come out. It's wedged in there, like a lot of them do. Sometimes you got to break them to get them out, but I wasn't even in the mood for that. So we're just going to replace the whole harness, which is this thing right here. Snakes up, goes through the hole on the right, comes up, and there's an orange clip down there. It just clips into there. So super easy to run. That's the way I would recommend doing it. If you go out, check yours first. If you can get yours out, then the one you get from the junkyard, it don't matter if you drill it out or however you get it out of there. It doesn't matter. But if you cannot get yours out, then by all means, don't even try to get that one out. Just go ahead and take the whole harness. Super easy. All right, let's see if we can just buzz these off real quick. We got the Milwaukee going on. Oh, get on there. Super easy. All right, I'm gonna stop this for now. I'll come back when we get the tire off. So once you get your tire off, I'm gonna take the tie rod off, which should be a 17 down there. And then I'm gonna take the brake caliper off, which should also be 17s. And then the struts are 22s. And I believe the ball joint down there is, I think, a 19. But we're gonna get all this stuff apart, and I'm gonna go up there and unclip and go ahead and pull the wire harness through. So we got that already done. Well, we got our tie rod popped out. We tried this hammer, that wasn't big enough, so we had to get a B or FH, and that actually worked. Yeah, I don't have all the fancy tools like ball joint popper and stuff like that, so we got to do it the old-fashioned way. And of course, the tie rod end is shot. So sometimes you just want to leave stuff alone. But you can see maybe you can see it. You see the control arm bushing. It's bad, but it's not going to fail and kill us. So we'll leave that alone until we do our lift kit, and we'll go ahead and replace the ones on the MDX instead. So now we got the tie rod out, we can spin it to however we want to. So I'll go ahead and get these brakes off, and the 22s for the strut, and then we'll get the ball joint bolt out. Okay, so we barely got the caliper off of there with the bracket. I'm going to check the slides, make sure the slides are working. We made it into new holes because it may not be, the inside of the holes might have collapsed and the brakes might squeeze and not release. So there's that to worry about. Now, here's something you never want to see. These two Phillips screws right here. If someone didn't use anti-seize when they put them in there, yeah, good luck. So I've got the hammer screwdriver. I'm going to get that and see if I can get those out. Normally what ends up happening is getting a drill bit and just drilling them out. If you're not going to use anti-seize when you put these on, don't even bother. In fact, a lot of people don't even bother putting them on. All they're there for is when it's going down the assembly line, they just put these in there to hold the rotor on. That's all. Well, I figured I'd give a little update. I don't know if it's good or bad, but this wheel bearing's good. It's not making any noise whatsoever, which means it's either coming from the other side or possibly the brake is hanging up and that's what's making all that noise. I guess we'll see here in a second, but yeah, so I put the put the ball joint nut back on. I'm about to put the axle back in, slide the knuckle back into the strut, and get this thing back together so I can get these tires to the junkyard, or to the dump. The rear AC does not blow. So take a look. No, we're gonna get a light. Anyway, went to the junkyard, got a part. I'll show you what that is in a second. But also, while I was there, we're gonna come around to Snowflake here. And sorry about all the walking. We managed to get a jack and the 2 attachments that go with the jack. So total score on that for Snowflake. Of course, it doesn't run or anything. It's got a bad engine, but we'll take care of the small things first, like getting. Why aren't you going in? Anyway, that's supposed to close. I just saw that broke. I don't know if I'm going to fix that. Probably not. That whole big panel is kind of a pain to get out, so that may just stay the way it is. Okay, enough for Snowflake. Now, let's get back to Kenny. And then, at the end of the video, I'm going to ask a question, and we'll see. I'm not going to get any responses because nobody's subscribed to the channel, but let's take a look at Kenny's seats. The back's kind of tore up. It's all stained. They kind of stink. That's the passenger side. Driver's side's all stained up. I tried to clean them. It's got a cut. But everybody knows the purpose of Kenny is to go out in the woods and beat the crap out of it. So do I really want to put nice seats in it? Because when I was at the junkyard, I saw a set of very nice seats. And I'm thinking to myself, that would be really nice to put in here. And I'm going to fall. I don't know if you can see the back seat. Back seat's got all kinds of damage to it. So, yeah, there we are. So under here is the blower motor. And I disconnected it, put 12 volts to it, and the motor spins. So that's a plus. So let me plug this back in. Maybe. It's supposed to plug back in. It came out. There we go. Okay, motor's plugged back in. Now let's get over to the other side and take a look. Now, if you've got a Pilot or an Acura MDX, then one of the things is go ahead and take this lower panel off and vacuum off your screen for your blower. If you don't do that, it gets too hot, and then you end up blowing the resistor, which is what this plugs into. The resistor goes right in that hole. So I was at the junkyard, and I tried to test them before I pulled them out. Anyway, I tested 4 before I found this one. And this is a good one, and I'm going to show you how you test it. As soon as I set this down, grab my meter. Actually, I'm not going to set it down. I think I can just grab my meter right here. Okay. So I'm going to set this on the tripod. That way you can see it. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting the meter between the bottom 2 pins, 3 and 4, and we're going to measure the resistance. I just wanted to let you know what I was doing before I actually did it. Okay, I think you can read the meter. I'm going to grab the first bad one and measure between pins 3 and 4. Anything over a megohm is bad. And you'll see that's open, so that's a bad one. This one here. Don't even tell me that's good. I just measured that as bad. Now it's good. I don't get it. What, so now I got 2 good ones? I don't believe that's good. but I'm looking right at it. Okay, I'm trying to get you as close to the fan as I can. First we're going to test the bad one, or the one that I thought was bad. And all we're going to do is we're going to turn it on and set the rear AC to on. And it's blowing. Holy cow, we got working rear AC. I don't believe it. That was actually supposed to have been the bad one. So let's put the good one that we got, if the camera will stay. Come on, what is your deal? Okay, we'll disconnect this one real quick. Plug in one we just got. And same thing. Turn on. Yep, it's blowing. We got AC blowing out the back vents. How perfect is that? Oh my God. Okay. So now we're just going to pop that back in and call it a day, I think. By the way, this goes in really weird. There's a little clip to press. You turn it to the right to pull it out, which is strange. Not to the left. You pull it, turn it to the right. And then once you pull it out, then you have obviously, this. But when you put it back in, just turn it to the left and you're good to go. So I'm very surprised that it works with this one. Of course, I am missing the 2 screws, so I'm going to put those in. And then I'll have an extra one. So here's the question. I found a set of mint seats in the junkyard. $150 for both fronts, the middle, and the back. I might not need the back, but I think I will. And the carpet is also mint. As you can see, this one's kind of shot. So here's my question to you guys. Do I go back and grab all the seats and the carpet? Or do I leave it as is, since this vehicle's main purpose is to go get muddy and dirty? I don't know. I'm caught. I want to save money, but at the same time, I like riding around in decent vehicles. But when you take a look at this one, it's far from decent. So let me know your thoughts. And I think that's going to do it for this episode of Kenny. I'm surprised I got the rear AC working, which is going to be important because when we do go out on the trails, we're going to be bringing the dogs, and the dogs need the AC. So that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed the quick video on Kenny the Gambler Pilot. Not a whole lot to do, but fixing the AC for the rear was very important for the dogs. And still don't know about the seats and the carpet. I may get them, I may just leave them. But for less than $200, it would totally transform the inside of this thing. So I don't know. Up in the air still. All right, I will talk to you guys next time.